All right, guys, I apologize. I am a little behind. Um, and I did I get them? I missed a fly. I am a little bit behind today, and I apologize. Um, One Pride 40 Lions at safety out of Notre Dame. He is very impressive. Very, very impressive. Because I am a little behind, I am going to hit up. See if I can. I was going to have a couple guys come on, but I am a little behind. I'm going to see if I can get them to come on here. All right. So, all right. Hey, listen. All right. I'm getting a hold of Red Sea right now. I know he's very, very, very excited. He wants to talk about his Cardinals. And Alex is also wanting to join here. And listen, everybody, I apologize. I'm just going, no excuse, no excuse. I'm a little off today, Anyway, we're going to talk football. We're going to do what we do best. Really excited about this. There was a really great week of football. Right before the show started, there was a big trade. Stephen Gilmore is traded to the Carolina Panthers. I didn't have a chance to check. I believe Jalen Smith did sign with the Green Bay Packers. I am going on ESPN, and I can't confirm that. I saw it on Instagram. I was positive that Jalen Smith signed. So the best two guards are Darian Kennard out of Kentucky and Sean Ryan, UCLA. Hope the Giants nab them in the first round. Well, it'll be very interesting. The Giants, I'm trying to remember, they will have the Bears first round pick and they'll have their first round pick. I'm not sure they're going to go offensive line in the first round. So can the Giants afford Jalen Smith? I would love it if Jalen Smith signed, but there was a deal in play that he was going to Green Bay, but I went to ESPN just right now. He didn't. He has not signed officially. So that's what I thought. But ESPN didn't report it yet. So Thomas out for the Giants. Cowboys should route Giants. Not necessarily, Gary. I know that the Cowboys have looked impressive, but I'm not sure they're as good as everybody says. Williams being out's a big deal. Red Sea, what's up, brother? What is up, brother? I got a chance to check out your article. And I do agree with you. As of right now, today, Kyler Murray is my MVP. I've been saying this for a while. I really regret not being able to go ahead and put some action on that. So, Slasher, what's up, man? He says he's back. He's on vacation in the Bahamas. That was a good game last weekend. Yes, it was. They were very, very impressive against the Chiefs. Not on the Chiefs level. Nothing wrong with that. Hurts had a big game. Jalen Hurts had a big game. Funk's in the house. Salad Dodger, yes. Carolina. They are loading up. I'm a little worried about their cap situation in the future, but yeah. Urban Meyer apparently has had many talks with the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and none of it has to do with football. This is a very bad situation.
$20 says he gets fired by the end of the season.
There's a chance.
Season. I'm thinking like end of the month.
There is definitely a chance. I thought they played pretty well against the Bengals. I think they kind of mismanaged that game. Had a really good chance to win the game. So guys, welcome, man. Let me ask you guys. Let's just start off with Stephen Gilmore going to Carolina. What do you think here? Does this put Carolina in the playoffs? Let me just start off with there.
How you feeling, Alex? How you feeling, buddy?
Okay, first of all, I understand the move. Honestly, I understand. Like Gilmore and Belichick weren't seeing eye to eye when it came to contract talks, and at the end of the day, both parties were just like, "Hey, maybe it's best if you go play somewhere else." Now, the only thing that I'm mad about is the value we got out of him, because it was next year's 6th round pick, which makes no sense to me. Like, you're talking about a guy, yes, he was injured, but that season he was playing like a top 10 corner. Like, I don't understand how you get 6th round value out of that. But
next year's 6th round value.
Yeah, and Belichick we trust, I guess. But when it comes to Carolina, I think they definitely added a superstar to their lineup. You know, with having J.C. Horn out, adding Stephon Gilmore, who's one of the best outside corners in the league. Not saying he is the best. I'm saying he's one of the best.
He's up there with Ramsey. He's probably Ramsey and then him.
Yeah, but adding them to that roster is definitely gonna help that Panthers defense. So I see them possibly going to the playoffs. I don't guarantee it. I see it possibly happening.
Well, don't forget they also signed C.J. Henderson. They traded?
No, they traded for him.
3rd round pick, which is a good move. So they got lots of corners there, and J.C. Horn's not out for the whole year. But you see them.
It was a bad injury, so I don't know. I think they might sit him for the whole year. It looked bad.
Yeah.
And it was non-contact too. If it was like contact, it'd be like okay, it's a little more common, but it's non-contact. It's kind of like what Teddy Bridgewater did, only on a different part of his body.
Yeah.
It looked bad because it really just happened. Really just happened on him backpedaling. He didn't really cut or he was backpedaling and
he just broke his foot. I mean, yeah. He's supposedly out 2 to 3 months, but if they go to the playoffs, he can return.
He'll come back. Well, would you want him on having be out for 3 to 4 months playing in possibly like the game of the year?
That's another situation. He's gonna not only is he gonna have to come back, he's gonna have to get in game shape. That's something that Carolina's really gonna have to work on. My opinion is that if he's healthy and he's able to play, you may want him around for the playoffs. I mean, one thing about the NFC is that if you are going to play in the playoffs, you're going to have to go against some passing teams, you know.
Especially
definitely in that division. They have now C.J. Henderson, Dante Jackson's still there.
Mm-hmm.
They just got Stephon Gilmore for basically nothing. They made the D-Hop trade look like a king's ransom, and then they have J.C. Horn. And they still have Jeremy Chin at safety, I might add.
It's funny without you take Gilmore out of the equation. Like I think their secondary is all 23 or younger. Just very, very, very young secondary.
I think Dante Jackson's the oldest starter.
Yeah,
he's only been in the league like 3 years.
He's a guy I'm guessing. Just from the players that they're bringing in, because they're bringing in guys that are, I
think he's on the way out.
I see it. I see him.
If they bring in C.J. Henderson and Stephon Gilmore, I think Dante Jackson's going to be out next year.
Yeah,
you just can't justify keeping these 4 good corners on your roster.
Yeah, no, somebody's going to go.
Well, the cap situation, I think, in the future is bad.
Their cap. They're going
to be in a bad situation. But right now,
they got McCaffrey. They got to pay DJ Moore soon.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny. Weren't they willing to trade McCaffrey for Deshaun Watson when that all happened? Because that was funny. I remember that.
I mean, they were. I mean, I would, because I mean, I'd take a
quarterback over a wide receiver, to be honest.
Wide receiver who plays running back. Yeah.
But we're all in agreement that Carolina looks like a possible wild card team here.
Oh yeah,
they're not going to
possibly wild card. Yeah, I still don't believe in they haven't played anybody.
No,
The somewhat competent team they played, they got utterly demolished. And I'm actually watching that game right now.
I'm still gonna say this. I'm not sold on Dallas.
I'm not either. Because Dallas has not played anybody.
Yeah, no. The most competent team they played that they have beaten was the Panthers.
And the Panthers haven't played anybody.
Exactly. So it doesn't mean anything.
Like once they get later in the season and they start playing some of these better teams, then we'll really see. They're pumping their chest like, yeah, we destroyed the Philadelphia Eagles on solo stage, prime time. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. They got more injuries than they got wins. How is that proof of you doing anything good?
It really doesn't. It literally means absolutely nothing.
You named a guy a captain on Sunday before the game, and then you release him 2 days later. How does that work?
Well, let me ask you on the Sunday night football game, Tampa Bay against New England. I'm going to start off here with Homeland. I'm going to go with your team here. How do you think your Patriots looked?
There were definitely some offensive miscues, definitely the holding penalties on Michael Onwenu, which he was taken out later on in the game in place of, I believe, Justin Herron or Alex Cara, I think his name. I forgot what his name was. But Matt Jones did very well. I will give him that. He did very well, in my opinion. Yes, he had a pick, but he was put under pressure. And it was pretty much, as we like to call it in Madden, a throw at a sack animation into a pick. But literally, he outplayed Tom Brady. Like, not many people can say that. Granted, Tom Brady was playing a not so strong Patriots defense. I think that there's still a lot of stuff we can work on. Matt Judon is our best defensive pass rusher by far.
He looked really good.
He looked nice.
Really good.
He's had, I believe he had 6 or 7 QB hurries on Tom Brady of all people, because Tom Brady has a release time of, I believe, 0.32 seconds.
I think it's less than that.
I remember I saw the stat watching the game, and actually he and Mac Jones had the exact same release time when they were throwing the ball. So I remember that, but it's Tom Brady we're talking about here, which normally not a lot of people with that offensive line, not a lot of people put pressure under Tom Brady. But Matt Judon definitely stood out that game. Jonathan Jones came in clutch. He was injured on a play, came back in and saved the touchdown. But at the end of the day, it was a really questionable call. I remember I was talking to Corey about it. Bill Belichick,
you gotta go for it there.
Yeah, you gotta go for it. But if you go for it and miss, then you're gonna get the slander from the fans. Why didn't you kick the field goal? But if you miss the field goal, you're gonna get the slander. Why didn't you go for it? So it's like in his situation,
I would have gone for it.
I personally would have gone for it.
I didn't understand why they didn't go for it. Here's the thing that stood out to me was that, let's say they make the field goal. You're giving Brady the ball back, I think it was 54 seconds with 2 timeouts.
And we just saw what he did to Dallas early in the first game of the season. You don't give Brady any time with timeouts.
I 100% believe that Tampa Bay wins that game, even if New England goes ahead and makes that field goal.
I think what they should have done was run what they ran against the Tampa Bay defense that worked. Run a spread offense. You saw it for people who watched the game. You saw how Mac Jones was tearing up that defense. That defense was atrocious.
Well, Richard Sherman was kind of just off his couch the day before. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Shut up. Anyways, you run that. You drain the clock a little bit more because you have 59 seconds. Okay, that's probably what drain the clock a little bit more. You still have one. We still had one timeout too. That was the thing. So you wait till the last possible second. Get within a good field goal range for Nick Folk, because he had a bad planting leg that game. So, going into it, you knew you were probably going to miss the field goal. So I say get a little bit closer, drain a little bit more clock. Then you make the field goal with very minimal time left, which forces Tom Brady to throw the ball deep down the field on a Hail Mary play, which he's less likely to, convert. And that's how we would have won the game, at least in my take. But I think we did well.
I think you did too. I was pretty impressed, and I think that they're still, even though they're 1-3, and even though they did get rid of Gilmore, I don't think you can write them off of the playoff picture
Yeah. Granted, I think we would have won more games had we had Gilmore on the defense. But I also think that this is kind of a new team right now. We brought in a lot of free agents this past year, which Mr. Red Sea, a.k.a. Corey over here, was not very happy about, and he still isn't to this day. But I think that there was a lot there's a lot to improve. It's still very early in the season. At this rate, I personally don't think we'll make the playoffs. I think we'll have probably a top 15 pick again. And we'll probably take a receiver most likely because our receiving core is not that good. Nelson Aguilar has kind of been a disappointment, if you ask me. He's not because, coming into it, everybody was expecting, this is going to be this big deep shot guy Mac Jones can throw the ball to. Granted, Mac Jones doesn't have an arm, but, this is that guy that can really open the field deep, and he hasn't been that guy. Kendrick Bourne, I will say, has been very good in my opinion.
I think he has too. I'm very pleasantly surprised.
Definitely.
Very pleasantly surprised. And the tight ends, I think they overestimated how good Gianno Smith is. Great athlete. I don't think he's really that good of a player, to be perfectly honest.
I think Hunter Henry was the better option at tight end. I was glad that they started him instead of Jonnu. I know against the Saints, they started Jonnu, and we all know how that went. So definitely, I don't think Jonnu will last long term. Personally, I think Hunter will last long term, but Jonnu probably won't be on the team after a couple of years. Even I don't know, let alone this year. So I think it's really interesting to see how that's going to go.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and get some comments out of the way here. We got Funk in the house saying, do you remember during the preseason, if I ran the Lions, I would call Dallas to get either LVE or Smith because one was going to have to go. Yes, Funk, I do remember. And I still think LVE would be a good fit if you don't switch defensive schemes, and I think he'll be on the way out. Slasher was called back 3 touchdowns. Yeah, he had some issues, but no disrespect to the Eagles, they're just not on par with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think you're in for kind of a long season, but I will admit Jalen Hurts played really, really well. Really well.
I mean, not that hard to do against that defense. That defense.
No, the Chiefs defense has some issues. they have some issues. One Pride says Urban Meyer's trying to force his way out. I believe he goes to University of Miami. That's not that far fetched. If he doesn't last here in Jacksonville, I think Miami's actually a great spot for him. And they're definitely Florida State and Miami are 2 big time schools in Florida that are going to go ahead and looking for new head coach this year. So, and see here.
Does USC still have a
USC still available? USC that's going to be I think the number one job is going to be USC. I for some reason or another I don't see Urban Meyer taking that job.
Yeah, they're losing a lot of their better players in this year's draft. Drake Jackson and that receiver, forgetting his name right now, but. They're losing some of their top tier guys in this draft, but they're still a good program.
Oh, I mean, it's one of the few programs that it doesn't matter who you hire. You can always, they're always going to get top tier talent. I for some reason or another, I just don't see Urban Meyer going there. That's just my opinion. Miami actually kind of makes sense. To be perfectly honest, Urban Meyer is kind of good fit. Even though things don't look good in Jacksonville, I'm not sure he's 100% out yet. Denver Gator says he's going to go say hi before he goes back to his corner and cry. You guys are really banged up, and Baltimore's a damn good team. I wouldn't be that upset. You're still tied for first place after Monday night. So J.C. Jackson's the new Gilmore he tied Howard. He's a damn good player. Yeah, really good corner.
A lot of people would argue that he isn't, but I'm not going to start that argument again.
One Pride says he's okay on Saturday and not okay on Sunday, and I was way off on the Arkansas game. For those of you who don't know, I put action on Arkansas to cover 18.5, and they ran into a Georgia team, which as far as I'm concerned, I watched Georgia and Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Bama, and I think Georgia is the best team in the country. I don't think
Georgia's defense is
wow. Yeah,
defense.
I don't think Arkansas came in flat, or I just think Georgia's that good. I think they're easily the best team in the country right now, and
I'd take Georgia over Bama. I really would.
I do too. I watch both games. I'm not taking anything away from Alabama. I think they're 1-2. I think everybody else is on a different tier, and
The national championship would probably be Bama and Georgia. But
yeah, they're going to meet in the SEC championship game, and whoever loses will be the number 3 seed, and whoever wins will be the 1 seed, so they can meet in the national championship game, and that's probably what's going to happen. Right now, I think Georgia is wow. That's a damn
Georgia will.
For a minute, I thought when you guys had mentioned Georgia, I was like, huh, because the university that I go to, Appalachian State, they also played a Georgia team. It was Georgia State, and they routed the actual. Pardon my language. They routed the actual hell out of them. It was like 45-16.
Yeah.
Not that Georgia.
It's got to be Appalachian State's. Are they still ranked, or are they out of the top 25?
We were ranked. I believe we're 25th. I believe.
I actually think Clemson's 25th. I saw a ranking.
Look.
I think the other day, and I think Clemson has fallen all the way to 25.
I know
what happened.
Actually, it was 25th last year. I don't know if we're ranked right now.
And a slasher, I understand. I know. I just said third rounder because that's what you get. Basically, I mean, I know they gave up Arnold and they get a 6th rounder. I know. I just throw that out there. Mike, welcome, brother. If Miami does hire Urban Meyer, they will pay him. They'll pay him an arm and a leg. So Alex joins in and says the Texans suck, and Tyrod. He's wanting Tyrod to come back. Urban legend.
They need Tyrod Taylor.
They beat Jacksonville and had Cleveland on the ropes with Tyrod Taylor.
And what was that low key diss? Hold up. No. We're not going to slide past that. Somebody said congrats to Pats on a win. First of all, all right. It's a different season, okay?
Both. I know. Corey brought this up. Is Luke G. Hyden? No, he's just. I think he's coming around to realizing this is not going to be a good team. But
that's one of the main things I want to talk about. How them Lions fans? 10-7 vibes.
Yeah, I've been telling all the Lions fans the same thing. The foundation is still solid. You're doing all the right things.
They'll be good in a couple of years.
This is going to be a bad year. This is going to be a bad year.
I mean, they're in prime position to draft probably Kayvon Thibodeau. I would think. I don't see them taking a quarterback because I hate a lot of the quarterbacks in this class.
This is a very weak quarterback class. I'm beginning to wonder if anybody who comes out goes in the first round. I watched Cincinnati against Ohio. I was thinking Ritter.
Desmond Ritter and Malik Willis are probably the 2 best ones, at least right now.
And then I'll be honest with you. I know Ritter. Some scouts think he's a top 10 pick. Others think he's barely a top 50. I think he's going to impress people in talking to him. I think he's going to be able to do pretty good on the whiteboard. But from what I saw against Notre Dame, I don't. I see what I look like to me. A 3rd round, 2nd round quarterback. I don't see an NFL arm.
Did they beat Notre Dame?
Huh?
Did they beat Notre Dame? I did not.
Yeah, they beat Notre Dame. However, it was mainly that defense. Cincinnati has some NFL players on that defense.
Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, they got a Sanders who's going to be a 3-4 outside linebacker. Who's a damn good player.
Sauce Gardner probably the 2nd or 3rd corner in this class.
And then 2nd or 3rd corner. I'm drawing a blank on his name. The running back was a guy from Bama who's a pretty damn good player too. They got a good off. There's some good things to like about Cincinnati. It's funny because there's really not a game on their schedule that they should lose. But here's the problem: they went out. I have a hard time putting them into the Final Four. I'm hoping they do it. I hope they get in. I'd love
to see them versus some of these top top teams.
Oh, I would too. I would too. Unfortunately, the way their schedule's ranked, I don't know if anybody in the American Conference is going to be ranked this year. So, but I hope they go undefeated. I hope they get in. I just know that, the people that vote on this Final Four or bowl championship series hate small schools. But the Cincinnati deserve to get a chance to get in. Why not? If they go undefeated, let them in. Let them play Georgia, the 1-4 game, and see how they do. They played them good last year in the bowl game. They played them good. So Gary says Chargers are a legit team the Cowboys beat. I don't know, man. If you're a Giants fan, doesn't look good. Giants should have drafted Rashawn Slater.
The Chargers had 15 penalties in that game. You're gonna win. You're gonna lose that game.
I'm not sold on the Chargers. I've been telling people this. It's actually funny. The Chargers have a very, very good game this week. You know what? I got the schedule pulled up here, and I'm drawing where the hell is it? I was just looking at it 3 seconds. Okay, yeah, I see it now. They're going to play Cleveland. They're hosting Cleveland. That's actually going to be a really good game. There was a lot of really good games. Speaking of really good games, Corey, I want to ask you 2 questions. How do you feel? Actually, let me give you 3 questions. 1, how do you feel about the win against the Rams? How do you feel? Number 2, is the Cardinals the best team in football? Number 3, is Kyler Murray the MVP?
Yes.
Alex, that is not Corey. Is not your name. That would be me.
Yeah, it is. Shut up.
Okay, so the Rams game was I wasn't able to watch the game live because I went out. But when I got home, I watched that game for like 5 times in a row. I was so happy. We finally beaten the Rams for the first time in 4 years. We finally beat the Rams. And we did not just beat them. We beat them up in their own building. It was bad. I mean, Cooper Kupp was a non-issue. Deshaun Jackson really only had 1 play, and it was a pick. So, I mean, it was – the Rams just got destroyed. And honestly, I don't know, man. I don't – so the Rams beat the Buccaneers, who are probably a consensus number 1 team. And then we went into their building and destroyed them with minimal effort. So, I mean, I think you have to put us in that top tier of teams. But being the best team, I probably wouldn't say that yet. But we're definitely up there. We're definitely up there.
Keyword yet.
Yeah. We do not have an easy schedule, though. The easiest game is probably the Texans coming up.
Well, I will say this. I'm kind of impressed that you didn't say you're the best team, but top tier team, you have to give it to them. AJ Green looks a lot better than I thought he would. Christian Kirk, a guy that I absolutely loved coming out of Texas A&M, is also playing some damn good ball.
Beautiful route runner. Beautiful routes.
Yeah, he's doing a really fantastic job. So looks like Homeland dropped off here. Hopefully he comes back.
He'll be back. Yeah, he'll be back.
And then, Florida State. This is the Urban Meyer. I kind of got behind on comments here, but Urban Meyer could go to Florida State. Florida State, if Urban Meyer decides he wants to come back into the college ranks, it will cost somebody big time. He's not going to come cheap. Luke is finally saying all the things about golf that I said preseason. I wouldn't give up on golf yet. I tried explaining this to Luke G, and he didn't want to listen. It's just your receiving core is bad. It's really bad. And then you also have so many problems on that defense. I think you're running the wrong scheme. But again, the foundation's solid. This is just going to be a long year. Jump on the Chiefs bandwagon. So
no.
Jets over the Lions. That's
I'd pick the Jets. From what I saw against Tennessee, I'd pick the
Jets. Good win for the Jets. They beat up a very banged up Tennessee team. I have to admit, I love the way Derrick Henry. I hope Derrick Henry can play the way he's playing for 17 games and maybe get a chance to go back
Well,
to 2,000
16 games because he did not have the best day against us, even though we have not
I
stopped the
wish,
run since.
you know what? I should have went, and I still have it on my DVR. I should have went and watched it because whatever you guys did against Derrick Henry, nobody else has really been able to do. So
what I saw,
We held him
was
to
bullying
58
everyone.
rushing yards on the day, and a lot of it was in the fourth quarter. That'll work. That's how you
wasn't
beat
Buda
Tennessee.
Baker like bullying that entire offensive line? Was it Buda
Oh
Baker?
my! I have a clip on my phone. I would love to send it to Dan so he can show it on the stream here. Buda Baker is 5 foot, I want to say 9, possibly 5'10". He's like Tyrann Mathieu. He's just maybe an inch shorter than Tyrann Mathieu.
5'9", 5'10", somewhere around there. Can't be more than 180, 185.
On
185 is probably the heaviest.
190-ish probably, but like on a safety blitz where Buda Baker is at the line of scrimmage, not with a big head start. He's on the line of scrimmage. He's essentially an edge rusher on this play. He runs full speed at Taylor Lewan, who's almost a good foot taller than him, and Buda Baker puts him on his ass.
Buda Baker is always going to be one of my all-time favorites. I love them coming out of Washington. I being 5'8" myself, I really got a hard on for guys like Tyrann Mathieu and Buda Baker.
Pause.
Both those guys are really good. Music City guy. I'll have to admit, I haven't seen much of this kid, but from what I've seen, I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. I'm going to watch more of him.
Right down the drain.
I'm gonna watch more of him, but I haven't seen a lot. From what little I've seen, I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. For those of you who don't know, Chip Kelly is taking over at UCLA. He's actually building a pretty good program there.
Oh, Chip Kelly's in charge? Oh no.
Yeah, it's I don't know if he's gonna try to springboard from UCLA to another college football program, but if he stays there, he's actually doing a good job. So
I have a question for you too. I want to get your thoughts on this. I probably know what Corey's going to say, but I just want to hear out of all the rookie quarterbacks who have started, not coming in for one game starting, but have been first time starters. Who do you think is the best out of the the main three? Because Trey Lance hasn't started shit.
Well, Trey Lance is getting his first start against us this week. From the guys who started and what I've seen
is that official?
Yeah, Jimmy G's out for this game.
Okay, good. All right, so we got that out of the way. That's a good thing for me, and I really need Arizona to win this game.
I need Arizona to win this game. What do you mean?
My pick of under 10 wins for San Francisco is starting to look better now. It's starting to look a lot better.
They had Seattle. They had Seattle early in that game, but then Seattle became Seattle again and kind of won. Just a little bit.
And Mike's right. I really wish the odds to open the season was 12-1, and I really should have put action on Murray. If he can stay healthy, he's my MVP.
I mean, he doesn't get hurt last year. He has 4,000 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards. How do you not give that to him?
No, you're going to have to. I mean, he's not on the pace for 1,000 rushing yards, but
no, I'm talking last year. If he didn't get hurt, he would have
last year. I think if I remember, it was like 800. I think it was 820. I could be wrong on that, but no, he doesn't get hurt. He definitely makes that number. Right now, he'll hit over 4,000 passing yards.
Easy. Rushing not so much.
Unknown how many rushing yards he would have, but. As long as they keep winning, he's definitely my MVP. I thought if Stafford wins that game, or if the Rams win the game, Stafford would be the front runner. But right now, Murray, I think, is easily the front runner for MVP. To be honest, I'd be interested who would be the number 2 guy. To tell you the truth, I might actually make it Derrick Henry. I mean, as much as he's being used or needed by Tennessee, even though they did lose to the Jets. You can't give an MVP to a guy who's leading a team to lose against the Jets.
Oh man!
Bold prediction: Michigan loses. Who does Michigan play? I have to admit, I don't follow long enough.
They play Nebraska this week, I think.
Nebraska.
They could get Nebraska. They'll get Nebraska.
They're building. Nebraska's building that program, but the guy they got as the head coach, former player, former Nebraska Cornhusker, is still. He's having some problems recruiting. He's not getting the talent there. Urban Meyer is the most interesting man in the world. I don't know if I've seen St. Brown get open. I've been telling you guys in Detroit, you're on the right path. It's just this is going to be a very long year. Dan, I would love to blame the wide receiver problem. They're open and Goff can't get them, so they aren't getting targeted. Plus, almost got Tyrod Hill decapitated. I've been saying this for a while. I mean, you have a bad defense, first of all.
Yeah.
But the receivers are not good. Goff is a downgrade. All right. So you're getting a downgrade from Stafford, but if you had really good receivers, he would look a lot better.
I feel the key
he's not going to lead you to victory.
Like I think the key difference between Goff's tenure and in LA and Stafford isn't being carried by the defense. Jared Goff was carried by that Rams defense. He just was. He wasn't anything special whenever he was their starting quarterback. He just wasn't. I mean, you saw how he played in the Super Bowl. Well, obviously they didn't.
Whether they deserve to be there is a different story, but yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, Corey, you can agree with me. He really wasn't anything special. With Stafford, it's like, okay, cool.
I can't really talk shit about him because he's kicked the crap out of my team for like 4 straight years, so I can't really say shit.
Has he done it?
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, how do you rank Goff? Let's just do this here. I still think
not highly. That's how I rank him. Not high.
In the middle of the pack, I think you could even call him a top 15 quarterback.
Top 15's a little high. I go top
15. 15's about where I would put him at.
Are we including Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, are we including Deshaun Watson?
You know that's a tough one. You know what? Let's take Deshaun Watson out of the mix. Let's take Deshaun. If you're ranking the quarterbacks 1 through 32, is Goff better than 16? Is Goff as a top half of the NFL today? Of all those 32 starting quarterbacks, where would you put Goff right now? I think he's above 16. I really do. I think he's somewhere between.
If he is, he's 16. Barely cracking it, in my opinion.
14, 15, or 16.
I mean, Grant, he kind of benefits from the rookie class looking like really bad so far this year. Because right now, you can honestly make the case that he's playing better than most of the rookies. I mean, yeah, he'll probably crack the top 15 just by that alone, but if in the next couple of years, Jared Goff's probably going to be out of a job and be a backup.
Probably. Would not be surprised.
Well, I think the contract situation, I think he has to stay in Detroit one more year. But
yeah, he's probably going to be there for at least one more year.
If Detroit doesn't trade for somebody, which
sign Aaron Rodgers. Maybe
where's
throw him marriage for you instead of against
running
you.
back, aka Todd Gurley? Where's he at? Didn't he get released from Atlanta?
Isn't he on his couch still?
I think Todd Gurley's still.
I think he's out of a job still.
I think he's unemployed. But I mean, you got a few quarterbacks. It's actually going to be an interesting offseason. You got Drew Lock out of Denver, who
he's not going to be.
I'm not sure he's going to get the start or not, but I think he's a guy that I think if he was a starter, I think he'd be able to give Goff a run for the money. I don't know if you have enough trade capital to make a Deshaun Watson trade, but you do have 2 first-round picks. Ben Roethlisberger's a guy who I think after this season's going to be out
retired
in Pittsburgh. I think Roethlisberger needs to kind of hang it up, which I'm still hoping he's got enough for 8.5 wins.
Probably not. 1 in 3 right now.
This is Big Ben we're talking about here.
You also have Cam Newton. I don't know if he's
Cam Newton should be signed in
Detroit, but I'm still surprised that Cam Newton hasn't made an appearance in Washington yet. Heineke's played pretty well. The guy who's interesting that nobody's really talking about, but I don't see him staying is Matt Ryan.
He's not staying in Atlanta.
I don't see him
I
staying
mean,
in Atlanta.
his contract is so they can't move on from him. Like they there's no way they can justify moving on from him.
Isn't the cap penalty like massive?
The cap penalty, I think, is more than the Carson Wentz cap penalty that Philly just decided to use.
It's a bad situation, but I mean, it's such a bad team. It's actually funny. The Jets versus Atlanta is the London game, and one of those teams is going to have
at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
9:30 in the morning. We're subjected to watch the Jets play the Falcons. What
I'm
are
actually
we
going
doing?
to wake up and watch it. I'm not going to watch it live. I got it on the DVR.
I am not watching this by choice. I am watching it because it's the only game on.
I am going to watch it. I am going to watch it. There's a bunch of really, really good games. So, Music City guy, I don't blame you. Just you had a lot of injuries. I wouldn't worry too much because even though the Colts won, I still think Tennessee's going to win that.
Zach Wilson is the worst.
That division's bad. That division.
Yeah. And we knew this going into the season that this is going to be the
you have two teams that are probably going to be in the top 5.
And
the Colts don't look that great either.
No,
Tennessee is a shell of itself right now.
Well, I'm kind of disappointed in Miami. That was a team I thought could be a dark horse Super Bowl team.
Yeah, they beat us.
They're just falling apart.
Lost every other game.
Yeah, they're 1-3.
They've looked bad. They've looked bad in all of their games, really.
They played Tampa Bay.
I can honestly say if the Patriots don't make mental mistakes in that game, Miami's 0-4 right now. I mean, Miami has not impressed me at all.
No, me neither. I was really surprised that this is a team I thought that would really improve off of a 10-win season last year.
Realistically speaking, we should be 2-1 or 3-1.
I don't know if you get the Saints game though.
No. Wait,
Saints played really good.
Because we already had that one win when we beat who the fuck did we play in week 2?
Jets?
Yeah, we played the Jets in week 2, right? If we don't make the mental mistakes in week 1, we win that game. If we didn't kick that field goal, went for it, and left the clock with no time for Tom Brady, we probably would have won that game too. So realistically, if we had to make these mistakes,
you still got to make a 4th and 4. I mean, there was no guarantee.
Wasn't it 3? Wasn't it 4th and 3?
It was 4th and 3 or 4th and 4. I mean, I personally.
Against that secondary, I just think you got to go. 56 yards in the pouring rain of Foxborough? You got to go for it. You can't kick that field goal.
Well, I mean, I'll stand by this. Let's say they make the field goal. Brady
yes, it's Brady, but I mean,
will lead them back to win. I mean, I think it was 54 seconds. I don't know exactly, but
it was under a minute.
And they had 2 timeouts.
Yeah,
2 timeouts. Now, I'm not banking on a great return. Belichick coming from special teams background, so
they wouldn't even return that. No, they take a knee, go up to the 25, look for Antonio Brown and Mike Evans, and try to get into field goal range.
Mike Evans
honestly,
and J.C. Jackson that game.
I didn't watch the game. I was.
I'll tell you this though. I mean, I'm going to stand by this. So Brady with 2 timeouts and 50 seconds, you can get them in the field goal range. Tampa Bay at least kicks a field goal, whether they make it or not.
Yeah, whether they make it or not, we'll decide that game.
All right, so let's hear the breakdown of the Broncos-Steelers game from the panel. And everybody here is really excited about this game because it's in Pittsburgh, and everybody, including Denver Gator, wants a Steelers win. So, actually, Denver Gator, this is a good one here. This is an interesting game. Hey, man, Red Sea, you want to break it down?
I'll be out there in a second.
Denver and Pittsburgh.
So
Drew Lock versus Ben Roethlisberger.
Now, is Drew Lock getting the start?
He should.
I don't know. I thought Teddy Bridgewater had a concussion, and if he
did have a concussion, what I heard is that he's being evaluated, but it's still up in the air. If somebody wants to chime in,
if he has a concussion, I would not start him. If he has a concussion, I'm not starting him against
Pittsburgh. Don't pull Calvin Johnson. Come on now.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So I'm gonna go off of Drew Lock starting. I'm going to say Pittsburgh gets this game solely because Denver is just so injury right. They're down their quarterback. They're down like 2 receivers. Did you actually get the bug this time?
I got him. I finally
he did it on the first try.
Got it. You know what it is? I got some cream. It was my birthday yesterday. It was my birthday
okay.
yesterday, and I got some coffee. I got some special cream, and it's really sweet, so it's attracting this fly. I finally nailed it. So,
But anyway, I mean, I just don't see how Denver really wins this game. Only thing I really see is that they just run the ball so many times that Pittsburgh never gets it. Because I just don't see Denver with this many injuries beating Pittsburgh right now. Honestly,
oh, Pittsburgh's in bad shape, but
I know Pittsburgh's bad. Pittsburgh's not.
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh's
has a
not good,
far
but-
superior offense. At least right now, like when you consider like all the injuries.
Considering the injuries,
the injuries,
Pittsburgh probably
has
offense.
the better offense right now. And
I
think
have
that's
to
gonna
agree
be a
with
key factor.
that. And I mean, both teams have a good defense. I mean, it's going to be a good game here. I mean, obviously, we all want the Steelers to win.
I believe Denver. Did they lose Pat Surtain in that game?
I don't remember. I think they did.
I think they did.
I'm not 100% sure if Surtain's in or out, but I mean, they're banged up, and I'm still not sure if it's Bridgewater or Locke. You know, personally,
It's
Locke. If Locke does make the start, there's another one. I can't believe there's 2 fruit flies.
God.
All right, but yeah, they like my cream, so. All right, and then. So Denver Gator though. I mean, here's the thing though. Your Broncos, once they get healthy, they're going to be a tough team to beat. I think there's still definitely a wild card team, and the whole AFC West is going to be really, really fun to watch.
I like the Raiders. I'm going to say it.
I'm still impressed with the Raiders.
I still think they're overrated. I need to see them beat an actual team that I have respect in. I need to see it.
So basically,
I thought the Ravens win. I thought the Ravens have a pretty good team.
Marlon Humphrey puts effort on that last play. Baltimore wins that game.
Okay.
Marlon Humphrey is jogging on the play of the game. Are you kidding me? I remember telling Alex this because me, him, and another one of our friends had a good discussion for basically the whole night after that game. I would have cut Marlon Humphrey for that. He was basically walking on a player he could have run down very easily because Zay Jones
is not fast. I don't know.
Zay Jones was sprinting and he was barely ahead. Like Marlon Humphrey's slow jogging, he was keeping up with Zay Jones sprinting. I mean, Marlon Humphrey puts effort in. I 100% believe he at least knocks that pass down, if not intercepts it.
I know the play that you're talking about, and I think that if I'm correct, it was in overtime, may have been time.
Yeah,
I don't know. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't a good play, obviously, but I think it was a good win for the Raiders. But the Raiders have proven over the last couple of years that they fall apart in the second half of the year. I'm still not sold on the Chargers. I think Denver, once they get healthier, is going to be the second best team in the West.
I'm going to say it right now. Denver gets Aaron Rodgers in free agency. They're going to the playoffs. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
They may go to the playoffs.
Denver gets Aaron Rodgers. Denver gets Aaron Rodgers. It's over.
That Aaron Rodgers going to Denver, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Denver Gator.
Yeah, that's a little. I smell a little cheese coming from you. You don't want to play Aaron Rodgers twice a year? What's wrong with you, man?
No, I do not. I do not want to see
Dan's birthday.
Especially with Denver? Especially with Denver?
No, I have to admit, because they do have a lot of talent. I'm grateful that they're banged up right now. So,
Funk, if you mean Treylon Burks, he probably won't be there. He's probably the third best receiver in this class. Granted, not saying much with a bad receiver class. He probably won't be there in a second.
Denver Gator has a really good point. No lock bashing. You're not going to get any lock bashing here. And the reason why is me and Drew Lock went to the same high school, different years. We're off by age, just a few. But I'm always going to have a soft spot for Drew Lock, being a local kid. You know, I actually knew about him when he was a junior in high school. So I'm always going to have a soft spot for Drew Lock. I did not want to see him in Denver. And I think after the season, it'll be interesting to see what happens to him. And Shermer did not help him out. I also think that the Ravens did a good job really shutting down the run. I get the Ravens defense.
Well, I mean, the Ravens are known for that. Ravens are going to do that.
Yeah, the Ravens really did a good job defensively. I give the Ravens a ton of credit. I thought they did a really good job. And then according to Denver Gator, Teddy is going to get the start, and
Oh,
and I was kind of expecting it, and
Uh,
we passed every protocol so far. So
I mean, against Pittsburgh's pass rush,
it's
You
going to be
want-
tough.
you want a guy who's concussed to start versus them? I mean,
That's a tough one, but
I wouldn't do that.
The one thing about the Denver Broncos is that they're really high on Teddy, and I personally think it's a mistake. I think they should have went with Locke, go with the guy at the higher upside, but this is the move that they're going to make. They're going to move on from Drew Lock, and well, that's going to be that. And hopefully Drew Lock can rebound and go somewhere.
No, just start in week 14. You'll be all right.
You know, if Denver doesn't have a chance for the playoffs, then I wouldn't be surprised if they go in. But I still think that even if Denver loses this game, they're still in really, really good shape to go to.
Oh yeah.
If Denver loses this game, aren't they still like at least 2 seed in their division?
Yeah.
No, they're 3-2. Actually, if they lose this game, they could actually
falling.
still be in first place. The Raiders, they have a tough game. Chicago comes to Vegas, and Chicago.
They'll beat Chicago.
They'll beat
They'll beat the
Chicago's
brakes
not
off
good.
Chicago.
I'm not so sure.
Knowing Chicago, they're going to start Justin Fields, and Justin Fields is
Justin Fields is starting. Matt Nagy finally made a good decision for once in his life.
You know what? We didn't even talk about that. Andy, it was kind of funny because he announced that Andy Dalton's going to be healthy. Then he turns around and says, "But we're going to go with Justin Fields." After he said that Dalton was a starter. Is this coming from pressure from the organization? Is this really what Nagy wants to do? What do you guys think?
I personally think if Matt Nagy makes that press conference and he says that Andy Dalton will be the starter moving forward and not Justin Fields, I don't see how he gets home without being assassinated. I just don't see it.
He's going to walk into his house, going to be hostile UAV inbound. Huh?
Exactly. like you cannot sit here with a guy you moved up for sitting on the bench behind Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton's had one good season in his entire career, and that was the season he made the Pro Bowl.
You just can't justify. I get Justin Fields is a rookie. I get he got destroyed by the Browns, but it's a rookie. You're gonna have these struggles in this first year.
I thought he did a good job. I don't know how many guys. I didn't watch the whole game. I saw bits and pieces, but it really looked like they changed the offense. Apparently, Bill Lazor, the offensive coordinator, is making the play calls instead of the head coach. And it really looked like they dumbed down the offense quite a bit against Detroit, which I thought was a really smart move.
I mean, Detroit, you don't have to do anything. You show up and you win. Detroit's bad.
Oh, wow. Damn, shots fired.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Detroit is so bad. They snap the ball to Jared Goff. It bounces off his shoulder and right into the hands of a Chicago Bear for a turnover. How do you even begin to process this?
It's some bad things here.
It's hard being a Cardinals fan, but I cannot imagine being a Lions fan. The pain they go through on a yearly basis.
And that's why I personally think the Lions have one of the best fan bases.
They do. The fans,
no matter how bad the Lions get, them fans will stay loyal.
Well, I will tell you this: the foundation for the Detroit Lions is very solid. They have
as soon as they get a running back, as soon as they get another running back to complement with DeAndre Swift and a quarterback who can actually throw the ball, they're going to be good because their offensive line is not bad. They stole Penei Sewell.
What's his? I'm drawing a blank here. The guy they got from Green Bay, who I think is a really good number 2 guy, and then they also got a rookie out of Oregon State, a 7th round pick, who's actually I really liked him. I'm drawing a blank on both the names right now.
Before the stream, I really thought I could not name a single receiver on the Lions.
I mean,
the only guy I knew was T.J. Hawkinson.
Okay, actually, speaking of Detroit, this is just my personal take on it. Jeff Okudah has been very disappointing.
He's out.
Yeah,
he tore his ACL.
That's part of the problem.
Yeah, he tore his ACL. I thought they shouldn't have drafted in number 3.
No.
They shouldn't have drafted in number 3. Apparently,
who would they have gone though? At that point, you're kind of just screaming to take Jeff Okudah, who was at the time the best probably second or third best defensive player in that class.
From what I remember, Patricia really wanted Simmons. He was going to have Simmons playing hybrid role, move him all over.
We're keeping him. Thanks very much.
And then they went ahead and the general manager made the move for Okuda and was convinced.
I think, okay, Corey, how do you think, as a Cardinals player who actually, has Isaiah Simmons on the roster, how do you think Detroit would look any different with Isaiah Simmons if they had drafted him?
If they had drafted, I'm just going to assume COVID doesn't exist because that's really what murdered Isaiah Simmons in his rookie year. If Detroit has Isaiah Simmons in the middle of that defense, I'd like that defense a lot better. Their corners would still be pretty bad.
Yeah,
but I'd like their chances a lot better. I could see them winning games because Isaiah Simmons is that type of playmaker. Like, Dan, I'm sure you can vouch for this watching the few games of Cardinal football you have this season. Isaiah Simmons is flying around.
I love the fact that you got him in the middle. I thought that was brilliant, and I love how you're using him. I wish they would have done this day one.
The problem is we had him learning, like, every position on the defense with no offseason. COVID really, really was the big problem with Isaiah Simmons in his rookie year. But right now, the one thing I said with Isaiah Simmons, he's probably not going to lead the league in tackles. He leads the team in tackles. What do I know, I guess? What do I know? Isaiah Simmons is just a different animal. Isaiah Simmons is that difference maker. Thank you, Detroit. Really appreciate you not taking him.
Well, I didn't know this. So Patricia wanted Brown and the scout staff wanted Simmons. I actually thought Patricia wanted Simmons and then the GM wanted Okuda. So I did
not like Derek Brown. He stopped the run. That's it.
And then
I don't draft that in the top 5. Definitely.
So yeah, Fields was not impressive at all. And I do think the brass pushed Fields on Nagy. I don't think Nagy really wants to start Fields.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, Nagy can't be complaining. They just saved his life.
I think so too. I think so too.
Probably still going to get fired, but yeah.
See what happens. I mean, it'll be an interesting game against the Raiders. It'll be an interesting game against the Raiders here. And Jamal Williams, yeah, I like Jamal Williams. He's a good number 2 guy. So, and Lions fans want Okuda to be a safety. I don't know. If you draft a guy number 3, I think that he'll go into the season as a corner, but if he does make this change, it's not going to be next year. So,
no. Safety. Difficult. I could see it as him being like
an interesting hybrid here, Funk. I think Simmons as a hybrid type of player, and then you would add more experienced corners playing in that complex man defense that Patricia really wanted to run. So yeah, they're right. You would have won more games, maybe not enough to keep his job. Long term, you're in a great situation. This is just going to be a long year.
Actually,
the Chiefs bandwagon. So,
Funk, don't keep that thought because this upcoming draft is a guy named Kyle Hamilton, who's probably just literally an exact clone of Isaiah Simmons. You'll get your chance. Don't let him falter once again.
He's not the same athlete as Simmons, but he's a really good player.
No, Kyle Hamilton is a strict safety, but I mean, Kyle Hamilton's just real. If you watched him at that Florida State game, he single-handedly benched the Florida State quarterback by himself. Nobody.
Well, he had a great game against Cincinnati, and also like the fact that they also use him on special teams. I really like a guy that plays special teams, even though he's
like
be a first round
6'4" at safety, 6'4".
Yeah, he's 6'3", 6'4", 210. Really
at
good
safety
instincts.
Think about that. With that range at safety,
there's a lot of things to like about this kid. It'll be we're going to talk a lot about the draft and Lions fans. Yeah, you would really like this kid. You're really going to like this kid. I mean, as of right now,
Lions are probably looking at Kyle Hamilton and Kayvon Thibodeau. Either way, I'd be happy with Lions.
You have to take Thibodeau over over Hamilton only because pass rush is a higher priority than safety. But I mean,
Kyle Hamilton's that good though. That's my main
He's a
issue.
good player, but Thibodeau's no slouch right now. As of right now, and I had to go and double check. I actually don't know what the tiebreaker is. Somebody would have to educate me. Between Detroit and Jacksonville, who would get the number 1 pick? So,
I'd probably say Jacksonville's going to win a game eventually. Jacksonville has talent. Their coaching is just
he's
bad.
6'4", 220. I mean, and if they hopefully they have a combine this year, and we will.
They
will
will
go ahead and if they have the combine this year, it'll be something very, very interesting to see what they want. So, to see how he does. So. All right, you freaks of football fandom. Battlefield beta is downloaded already. Get to punk some noobs. I love these huge betas. So, all right, I have no idea what that is.
The new Battlefield game that came out.
I don't. God, I'm sorry, man. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is. I really don't. But if somebody else knows,
gotta get an Xbox, Dan. Gotta get an Xbox.
You know, I got I have a 360 and was it the
okay, an Xbox One. How about that? Not a 360.
I got a one. I got the at the time it was a really good one. It was like the 2 gigabyte one or whatever. And,
Still shutting down.
I use it mainly to watch movies. I don't play a lot of video games anymore, so
Just play some Madden with us.
I would suck.
Yeah.
I used to play.
You be the Kansas City Chiefs, though. You'll probably win your game.
You know, I
No,
used
you
to
won't.
love
Not if you play with me.
NCAA. I used to buy a
Good
new
point.
NCAA. I've probably bought like 20 NCAAs in my life. I loved NCAA. I may buy. Apparently, it's not going to be on the One. It's going to be on the newer Xbox version or PlayStation 5 when it comes out.
Yeah, Alex, we have to
I think
eventually
it's
upgrade
coming
it.
out in 2023. Does anybody know the new NCAA game?
I thought it was coming out next year, actually.
I'll be honest. I probably will buy that game because I've played. I haven't in over a year, but I had to buy it like 2 or 3 times. The 2013 with Denard Robinson on the cover. So, yeah, I love NCAA. I'm not a Madden fan at all, but I loved NCAA.
July of 2023.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I hope. I'm praying they do it right because it was such a great game.
Don't let EA
I
run
actually
that.
saw a
That'll be
copy
bad.
of. I went to a game store the other day and actually saw a copy of NCAA 14 for like $99, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even surprised.
No, yeah, you know what? I actually bought the disc and I bought it from Microsoft, and I think I downloaded it. I want to say for $49.99 like a couple of years ago. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it's being sold. It's still a great game. It's still a great game. It's still fun. I haven't played it in a year. I haven't played Madden.
Don't worry, you're not missing out on anything. It's just bad shit and animation.
All you're missing out is losing a lot of brain cells and a lot of raging. You think watching football is stressful? Nah, play
The
Madden.
raging part is me. The losing brain cells part is playing.
It's like, okay, Battlefield's like Call of Duty. Okay, I had a buddy of mine talk me into buying. I want to say 1941, and I kept on dying every 30 seconds. It was terrible.
We all start out with painful beginnings. We all start out that way.
The closest thing I can play to a shooter game, I don't think it's technically a shooter game, is Borderlands. Does that count as a shooter game?
I think it counts. I'd probably count it.
That's the only type of shooter game. I love Borderlands, and I got Borderlands 2, and I haven't played 3 yet. I don't know. I might play 3 one of these days. I probably won't get around to it, but I do like Borderlands. It's only
Music
shooting.
City guy has a great comment. He says, Dan, you should get an Xbox and play Madden with subscribers. I would be down for that because that means you'd have to play me.
I would be terrible at Madden. I would be terrible.
Alex has a Discord for a Madden franchise that we can all start.
I sure do.
Yeah, everybody join the Discord. Everybody join the Discord if you play. I have not played Madden in years.
Only one of you can pick the Lions. So you just got to decide amongst yourself who's going to rebuild that horrible team.
Actually, gaming has been proven to keep your driving reflexes at a high. I didn't know that, Funk, but no, I have to admit I didn't even know what that was. So
actually, what I just saw. Dan, do you have any update on Chris Jones?
I was not aware he was injured.
I'm watching the NFL Network right now because I have nothing else to watch, and one of the things sticking right now, Chris Jones with a hand injury did not practice today.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't see it. I didn't see that. I
don't know if this is part of the broadcast or if this is what's actually news trending, but that's a problem because he's like the only thing on that defense besides Tyrann Mathieu.
Frank Clark's been out. I do believe Frank Clark is supposed to play Sunday night. We really kind of need.
I thought you'll play the Packers.
No. We're playing Buffalo on Sunday Night Football.
Who do the Packers play? I thought the Packers played somebody.
No, the Packers play. I got the schedule pulled up here. They play. This is another good one. It's I think a very underrated but really good game. Is Green Bay is going to travel to Cincinnati.
That'll be good.
Yeah,
that'll be a good test for Cincinnati.
There's a lot of really good games. Thursday we got the Rams going to Seattle. Everybody wants the Seahawks to win.
This is the one time I'll cheer for Russell Wilson. Get the Rams further down because they're just going to keep winning after this. Kick the Rams down. We need a cushion.
For Arizona this week, we got San Francisco at Arizona. Everybody's going to cheer for Pittsburgh. My three big bets. I'm really hoping all three of those teams win. And I haven't had a chance to look, and I'm not going to put any action down on Thursday Night Football, but between now and Friday's show, I may have a bet or two to put down. I'll let everybody know. I'm going to say this in advance. CEH rushing total. I'm going to keep an eye on that number. Anything under 60, which I don't think it'll be because he's had back-to-back 100-yard games. Anything under 60, though, I would definitely put a prop bet down on that. I'm also thinking about Kelsey had a bad game and Tyreek Hill had a massive game. I think Buffalo will pay attention to that. Any Kelsey prop bet will be really, really, really smart, especially the way Buffalo plays defense.
Buffalo has the number one defense right now, but the problem is they have not played any offenses.
I have not even looked at the over-under on the game yet, but the over-under, I really, really think you want to take the over on this one. I'm going to check out the weather report, but this will be a high-scoring game. I don't know the defense.
Buffalo's going to put up points. Kansas City always puts up points. This is
going to be a very fun, high-scoring game. I haven't checked out the weather report, but I believe the weather is supposed to be very nice.
This is going to be like that Rams-Chiefs game from a couple years back. That game was
amazing.
It's going to be that game. It's going to be one of those. If you remember Kansas City versus the Rams a couple years ago.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, the 54-51.
Oh, yeah, it's probably going to be that.
It's going to be close to that. It's going to be close. Hopefully Frank Clark comes and brings it. I mean, we really need Frank Clark to step up. Willie Gay, a second-year linebacker, he'll be active for the first time all season. I didn't know about the Chris Jones injury. That's big, but we got a couple guys from defense that are going to come in and really help out. So, I don't know how much he's going to play, but Josh Gordon was activated to the Chiefs active roster. He's going to get some snaps. So, we'll see Josh Gordon in a Chiefs uniform, see what kind of an impact he can have. I know everybody's excited about that.
Yeah, Josh.
If he doesn't get caught doing drugs again.
Exactly.
There are some clips of him. He's obviously in good shape. I mean, I'm not saying you can't use recreation.
The problem has never been his play. The problem's never been his play. The problem has been when he goes home for the night. That's the problem.
Well, hopefully he's turned things around. This is I want to say this is the last chance, but I've also said that I think 2 or 3 last chances ago. So,
I mean, if he fails with Kansas City and Andy Reid, I just don't see him getting another job. I really don't.
I'll be honest. After he failed in Seattle, I thought that was it.
I also just remembered. I believe and I don't know if he was actually reinstated officially, but Martavis Bryant, I believe, was reinstated back into the league as well. But he's not going to get a job.
Oh no, probably not.
No, that's a shame too because he was a talented player, and I kind of
Cardinals
forgot
players know
about
that very
him.
well.
He was a really talented player, and I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, it's Cardinals fans' worst nightmare right there. I think it was him. I could be wrong.
Santonio Holmes is the guy who caught that pass.
Yes,
Martavis
Antonio
Bryant
Holmes is the guy who caught the touchdown pass. Martavis Bryant had some really good seasons, though. Some really good seasons with Pittsburgh. Kind of a damn shame, but yeah, kind of a damn shame here. Guys, I'm sorry here. I'm going to wrap this up a little shorter than what I usually do, and my apologies here. First of all, I apologize for being on late. Circumstances outside of my control, but I'm going to wrap it up a little early. I want to thank Red Sea and Homeland for coming on for the threesome. It was great. As always, you guys do an A+ job. I want both of you guys, please come back on again. Friday, I'm going to go into all the games in detail, plus reveal any bets I may make. Also, don't forget, give me a thumbs up, Maren. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up. I deserve it. I'm not seeing a link myself, but I'm on the StreamYard. If it's posted on the YouTube, actually do me a favor, Homeland, if you can, on the YouTube show, on the YouTube channel, put a comment with the link. That way everybody can join. And let me know. I don't play myself, but let me know how you guys do and everything like that. I'd really appreciate it.
Just expect Kyler Murray to win MVP almost every. Just expect Kyler Murray to win MVP.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
This man scrambles for like 600 yards a game. All right, listen to it.
That is completely false.
No,
that is completely okay. Kyler Murray's not even going to win MVP in our current season. That's Brees Hall because Brees Hall has like 1,400 yards.
Because you run, he has like 32 touchdowns.
That's besides the point. That
is the point.
And then, guys, don't forget, I'm going to put it here. You can always email me at thedanshow@yahoo.com. I got the notification set up, so if you email me, I will get back to you as quickly as possible. If I have some bets available, I will reveal them on Friday. Nothing for Thursday night. So if I make any bets, you'll see it live on Friday. And that said, I'm going to go ahead and end the show. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see everybody back on Friday.